Hi, and welcome to this ForNAV coffee break. My name is René Brummel. I'm a product specialist at ForNAV, and I will be your presenter today. As this coffee break is live, you can ask your questions via the GoToWebinar question window. We will answer them at the end of the coffee break. Today, we're going to run and monitor our Business Central reports with the ForNAV Report Service. The ForNAV Report Service is a part of the ForNAV on-premise installation. It is a standalone web service that does the rendering of your reports. When you run a ForNAV report, the ForNAV core extension sends the layout and the data to the report service. The report service renders the data and returns the result to the ForNAV core extension. To demonstrate how to run and monitor our Business Central reports with the ForNAV Report Service, I'm going to use these steps. Prerequisites: what do I need to get going? In step 2, I will install and set up the ForNAV Report Service. In step 3, I will set up the ForNAV Report Service. And in step 4, I will monitor and debug the ForNAV Report Service. Let's start with the first step. Today, I will run and monitor our Business Central reports with the ForNAV Report Service in the Business Central 2023 Wave 1 service tier. In this service tier, you need permissions to install new extensions. You also need permissions to install software on your server, as the ForNAV Report Service is installed locally. The ForNAV Report Service is available in Business Central 2021 Wave 1, PC 18 and higher. The installation of ForNAV starts with the installation of the customizable report pack in your Business Central tenant. This is a step that I've already completed. Once that is installed, you need to install the ForNAV Report Service on every Business Central tenant. The local installation improves speed and security. It is not possible to install the ForNAV Report Service on a separate server. So let's move over to our Business Central server, which we have here. This is just a simple Business Central service tier installed on an Azure Azure server. And on this server, the first step we are going to need to make is to install the ForNAV Report Service. And the ForNAV Report Service is a part of the normal ForNAV downloadable, so you can just download the ForNAV executable from the ForNAV website. And if you run it, here we go, we need to accept the agreement, of course. And with the installation options, you could choose development that will install everything you could possibly need, typically used on development machines. But on your typical service tier, you need to install the ForNAV Direct Print service, at least if you're planning on using Direct Print, and the ForNAV Report Service that we're talking about is the final installation option. And I always tend to install a designer on my service tiers as well. Makes it a bit easier to administer and change and modify ForNAV reports. But it's the report service that is what we are talking about today. Now, I've done this installation before, so I'm not going to do it again. As you all know, watching an installation live on a coffee break is like watching paint dry. Once you've installed the ForNAV report service, you will find it in your services list. So in the services list, I've installed the Direct Print service and I've installed the ForNAV Report Service. I'm just going to start it. And once that's started, everything is good to go and we can start using it. After you've installed the ForNAV Report Service, you can render ForNAV reports. The default port the report service uses is 9030, and of course in some cases you may want to change that. So let's go and have a look and see how we do that. Once you've installed the ForNAV Report Service, you will find a folder in your C drive, typically installed in Program Data ForNAV Report Service Configuration, which is called reportservice.json, and this is the actual configuration of the report service. If I open this with a suitable editor, I typically use VS Code for everything nowadays, and just format this using the built-in formatter, you'll find it has two properties: the URL, which is always localhost, like I said. you can't install this on a separate server, so the URL is always localhost. It's always HTTP since it's installed on a local host. We use HTTP because that's just much faster. And the port, as you can see here, is 9030. And if you want to change this to a different port, if 9030 is used by something else, then you can just type in your new TCP port here. And the max concurrent requests by default is set to 100, and that should be enough for any typical installation. Finally, after setting up the report service, we can use it to monitor and debug our reports. And to monitor and debug the reports, let's move back to our server. If we follow this URL, control-click, or you can just type it into your browser, you will find that we've got the web page localhost with the port and /ForNAV Report Service. And this web page allows us to monitor what's going on with the ForNAV reports. And as you see, I've just started the report service. Nothing has happened just yet. And if I go to Business Central, find a report and run the report, I've got my ForNAV customer list here. And if I close this, go back to my ForNAV report service and refresh the page, you will notice that the ForNAV report service list has just been run. The action was preview. It has a request size, a response size, and a duration. So this is what you can use to monitor how your report service is running. Every time you restart the report service, this list is gone. It doesn't store anything in any database or anything. Finally, you may need to debug your reports if you run into any weird issues with the ForNAV report. ForNAV support may request you send a debug file. You can simply run a debug file by printing the report through the ForNAV debug printer. If you then run print, you can choose your debug action, so that will simulate how the report is running. Let's choose save as PDF now. Once you do that, ForNAV will download a bin file. There we go. And if you look at this bin file, you can send this to the ForNAV support desk and they will be able to reproduce your issue. If you look inside this bin file, you'll find a huge JSON with the complete data set in there, which is not encrypted or anything. So if you do send debug files, please make sure you send it without any sensitive company information in your report data set. Let's recap what we just did. We've installed the ForNAV report service and we've set it up so we can run the ForNAV reports. We have customized the port it uses by changing the config JSON file. Finally, we monitored the report service with the report service webpage, and we created a debug file that ForNAV can use to reproduce any issues that you may have. Thank you for listening to me so far. Peter, can you check if we have any questions?
It doesn't look like we have any questions so far, but we'll give it some time. In the meantime, if you want to know more about ForNAV, or if you want to download the ForNAV Designer and Converter, please visit our website, fornav.com. And if you want to install ForNAV in Business Central Cloud, please visit the Microsoft App Source. You can watch more videos about ForNAV on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions about ForNAV, please email them to support@fornav.com. For a full list of upcoming and recorded coffee breaks, please visit fornav.com/coffeebreak. And we still don't have any questions. So thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.